It's taken big steps through a series of products that I'll be walking you through for the next few minutes to enable you to tell the best possible stories, to engage the right audience for your brand, and not just to engage them, but to enable sharing and going viral with your message. Because ads are good. Getting the right message that you want to get out in front of the right people, that's good. But even better is telling that story. Because stories are what grip us. Stories are the things that we remember, that we talk about, that we look back upon, and that mark milestones and mark meaning for us, and that we share. So let's talk about the new set of tools that we're rolling out for all of you to tell great stories and to get them out in front of the right audience and a large audience for you. Everything that you do on Facebook starts with pages. And as we'll see in a second, just as Boz talked about the evolution that we've seen of that profile page from that really simple starting point of Facebook for college students to that rich timeline that we all have today, so have we evolved pages for brands. A much richer, much more compelling experience. And that is where all stories are created, where your identity as a business, as a brand, starts. Here's a couple of examples of those new pages. And they're personal to me. When I'm back home in California, I try to start my mornings, not as many mornings as I'd like, but I try to start my mornings getting up early and hit the gym. And then after I get to the gym, I go next door and grab a coffee. And these are the two pages for, here on the left is my gym, and on the right, Starbucks. Now, you all know Starbucks. They have 17,000 locations around the world. And I probably guess that where any of you live, where any of you work, there's one right around the corner. Now, Fit, my gym, has exactly one location. Right around, pretty close to where I live in my hometown in California. Yet both of them are really important to me. Both are places I connect to. Both are places whose content I'm really interested in because they're a part of my life. And both of them are representing this rich, meaningful, interactive way that starts at the top with that cover photo that tells stories, that connects to me. And that's the real opportunity of whether you're one of the smallest business with one location or a huge global brand, to build those relationships and tell those stories. So let's take look at a couple of examples of how some brands that you're probably familiar with are doing that. Manchester United has launched a new page recently with our new page format. And they, of course, are one of the most iconic sports clubs in the world. On Facebook, they have 23 million fans, not just here in the UK, but throughout Europe, throughout the world. And they have a long and a rich history. Turns out, I didn't know this, maybe some of you knew that they were founded in 1878 with a different name back then, but they go all the way back to then. And they posted over 300 photos on their new timeline, on their new page, to tell their story, to go all the way back to their founding. And you can see here this first team. Red Bull has taken their new page, and of course, when you think about Red Bull, you think about that brand, about active, about action sports, about people just doing crazy things, and about Red Bull giving you wings. And so they posted at the top, they did something called pinning to the top of their page, this video that shows you the kinds of things that their athletes do. And on their page, and on every page, it's not just the content that the business, that the brand wants to share with me, with all of us. But we've built in a new feature that personalizes every page for every user. So each one of us going to the Red Bull page will see, up here on the right, we'll see our friends, but it'll be different because we'll see which of our friends are connected to Red Bull and what are the actions they've taken. So we're taking that page, we're taking this creative canvas that each of you and your brands own, but personalizing it to make that page more rich, more engaging, more compelling. Let's go through some more examples. Audi in Germany, a company that's always had advanced technology as part of its brand, has built a virtual showroom to show off its various models so that you can come on and see and shop and learn more as you're in the market for cars. You just kind of love their cars and want to check them out. And you have the opportunity to actually engage customers and drive sales today. We're rolling out a new product called Offers, which is basically a coupon opportunity or a discount for you to come on and hear Domino's in Spain posting to their page an offer. It starts on the page, like all content for brands. It starts on the page, it gets spread to all of their fans into their news feeds, and then as they share it, either they redeem it or they share it with their friends, it goes viral and gets shared time and time and time again. Final feature I want to highlight is an improved way to communicate, not just in that publishing way of reaching out to thousands of fans, or hundreds of thousands of fans, or even millions of fans, but also to engage in one-on-one dialogue, to build those personal relationships. Something that brands have been asking for quite a while has been the opportunity to actually message, to interact with people. And so here, to take an example, in the case of Mini, is here's a new Mini car owner who had some questions about a new car. And so there, now, for the first time from that page, she can just hit message and start this dialogue and interact back and forth, building out that personal relationship. So these are pages, our new pages. We believe they're the richest, most personalized, most engaging way that we've ever created, the most engaging canvas that Facebook has ever created for your brands to express themselves on Facebook and to build connections. So the key things to know, takeaways here. First is that everything you do starts on Facebook. We're going to talk about where things go from here. But those stories, your brand telling your stories, every part of it, every story starts with your page. And on that page, you express your identity. You tell those stories that are going to engage me and motivate me to share that with my friends and their friends and their friends. So let's talk about then how that sharing happens. And I'm going to start with a simple number. 16. So 16 is the percent of people who see a typical story who might be eligible to see that story. Let me explain what that means. So if I post a status update, hey, I'm in London, I'm at FMC, having a great time, meeting a lot of clients. Of all my friends out there, on average, 16% of them are going to actually see that story. The same goes true for brands and their pages and the content that they put out there. And that's simply because the average user on Facebook has well over 100 friends, as well as connections to brands, sports teams, or whatever organizations. And not everyone is on Facebook all the time. It's too bad, but it's the fact. And so people come, and so you might miss some of these stories. And on average, and there's also a lot of content competing to get in that newsfeed, in that valuable newsfeed. So we said to ourselves, we want every brand to be an incredible storyteller. And we want to enable those stories to be told, and those stories to be heard, and to be read, and to be shared. So what if we could guarantee that instead of 16%, that on a monthly basis you could get your message in front of 75% of your fans? So to do that, we're introducing a new product called Reach Generator to make sure your connections see your stories and then have the opportunity to share it with their friends. It's really step 2 for a brand that has more than a few 100,000 friends. Now, if you don't have a large enough number of friends, this model still works. You still have the opportunity to tell great stories, to drive distribution through the products that we'll talk about in a couple minutes. And also, to build up more fans, to build more connections, which really is the best practice all the time, because your business is always growing. There's always new customers out there to acquire and new opportunities, and that's something that's always part of sustained relationship, dialogue, connections, building more of that, telling great stories. So your job with Reach Generator, your job is to continue to tell great stories, focus on great content, and we'll optimize our marketing tools for your page to ensure that you have greater reach. You start with that page post on your page, and we offer this in the way we optimize through our marketing tools to ensure that you have greater guaranteed reach. You sell this and you buy it via a guaranteed subscription. So why is this important? Well, we talked about 75% of fans and the opportunity to get in front of many more fans. But what we also have discovered through research is that fans of your brands on Facebook buy twice as much of your products compared to non-fans. They're twice as valuable. And that's even before they start sharing with their friends. So let's take a look at a few examples of brands around Europe who have used Reach Generator as we've been testing it over the last few weeks. Here in the UK, O2 used Reach Generator and through their test reached 78% of their fan base. Unilever's Ben & Jerry's brand in the US reached an incredible 98% of their fans over a month. 3.6 million people. And to get a sense of the impact that Reach Generator has going from that line pre-Reach Generator post, just look at the light blue versus the dark blue. It gives you a sense of that opportunity. Again, obviously Ben & Jerry's was telling great stories to get that kind of sharing. 3.6 million fans, and ice cream is something people like. But as long as they're telling those stories, don't you want to reach that many people? Similarly, Nestle's Butterfingers in the US used Reach Generator to reach 90% of their fans over 28 days. 1.2 million. And importantly, over that same period and through those same activities, they drove a 6-point increase in brand favorability. Again, not changing their activity, they're doing what marketers do best, telling great stories, but just driving much greater distribution. And that's why, in this evolution from ads to stories, Reach Generator plays a critical role. So for you, as storytellers, it's critical to start thinking about, for your brand, for your business, what is that content? What are those stories that's going to be engaging? Here's a couple of tips. What we found is that albums, photos, typically get engagement rates about twice that of textbooks. And it makes sense, just us as users, think about when you see your friends sharing photos, sharing albums, and how it grips you. Likewise, brands have found it really effective to ask questions or post fill-in-the-blank statements, inviting fans to come and comment. And not just to comment, but actually to share that then gets shared into their friends' newsfeed. We see 90% higher engagement with that kind of activity. So you create that kind of compelling, engaging content, and then Reach Generator drives distribution across hundreds of millions of people on Facebook. So with this new identity and the ability to create stories, you're well positioned to really scale and to take advantage of that incredible audience and reach that Facebook has to offer. And that brings us to the third set of new products that we're going to talk about today. Premium on Facebook. Premium ads, premium stories, allow you to get your story seen by more people in the most valuable real estate, the most engaging and compelling locations on Facebook. And it looks a little something like this. It starts, once again, with a page post. If this is new news, you're just not paying attention at this point. Starts with the page post on your page. And then it gets distributed, starting with the right-hand side unit. That's not new. Most of you have seen that before. But what you might not have seen is the research that we've been doing with brands using that space. See on average 3x ROI on the investment to drive their stories. Now, we've long been asked by our most important partners, that's great, we like that, but how do we get into the newsfeed? The newsfeed, after all, is the heart of Facebook. It's the most valuable real estate on Facebook. How do we get there? Well, for the first time, we now have the opportunity to drive those stories off your page and into newsfeed. With 100 billion newsfeed impressions a day, 500 million people, and growing there each day, that's incredibly valuable real estate. And it's not just on the desktop. It's also on mobile. And as we're seeing these stories flowing into newsfeed for the very first time, we're seeing click-through rates on those stories 5 to 10x what we're seeing in other placements on Facebook. So that combination of newsfeed, the opportunity there on the newsfeed desktop, on mobile, just speaks to the increased value. You as storytellers, telling your brand's stories, creating compelling and engaging content. Finally, we're rolling out a fourth optional placement through Facebook Premium, and that is in our logged out user page. 1 in every 4 users in the UK every day logs out of Facebook. And we're now offering the opportunity here and soon in markets throughout Europe to put a unit, a similar unit through Premium on those pages, a larger, richer unit, given the space and the opportunity. But again, it starts with the page post. So here's an example from Fox Studios' forthcoming Prometheus film. You can see there on the right-hand side, that's the page post. But the video that it links to is displayed in a really large, rich, compelling way. A beautiful way to drive awareness of a new movie release. Let's look at a few more examples of what this new Premium on Facebook looks like. For Turkcell, a Turkish mobile carrier, third largest GSM provider in Europe, they use the opportunity for an offers product to promote 30% off phone accessories. Emirates Airlines, their rich new page, one of the largest and fastest growing international airlines. You can see driving those pages, driving the stories that they're telling all the way across Facebook. The Hunger Games from Lionsgate, the new film that just came out. This much anticipated release, they used Premium on Facebook to drive distribution, to build awareness and promote their trailer. This is Premium on Facebook. You tell one story, and it goes through distribution to all the impactful places on Facebook. You can concentrate on your stories and your target audience. We optimize for reach and engagement. We believe this is the most impactful way to distribute your stories, whatever kind of stories you want to tell. It all flows out of your pages. Be it a video, be it a photo, be it a link, be it an event, be it a question, whatever it is, you post it there, we help you drive distribution. With redesigned pages as mission control and the source of all your stories on Facebook. We're really excited to be here with you and to be bringing these new opportunities to life with you. We're really excited to jump in with each of you and start building on the opportunities that we're rolling out from here. And at Facebook, we always talk about being 1% done. We think about ourselves as a company. Boz talked you through a lot of the evolution that we've been through as a company. But we still think of ourselves as just getting started. But we think this opportunity that we're announcing here today to all of you represents a big leap forward in terms of opportunities for brands, for all of you to do what you do best as storytellers, to create compelling content and drive that distribution in really engaging ways all the way across Facebook. We're going to move now in just about 5 minutes to breakout sessions. You have information in the materials in this room and in a room just downstairs from here. A couple breakout sessions. We'll be back here later for a panel with some marketers